Hey guys, this is Mol, and today we'll be taking a look at Phantasya, the game making studio, and learn a little bit about it, shall we? So, basically, this is the main page, main screen of the program. This is the area in which you will be editing your maps and the events on them. You can add music and backgrounds through here, manage your maps on this part, right here. Various other little quirks and stuff that we'll be getting in a bit, shall we? So first of all, we'll load up a project that I've already made ahead of time to showcase a little bit. This is a replica of the first stage of Mario from the original NES title. As you can see, the map is right here, loaded up from inside the editor, as well as a collision map to go with it. The program automatically translates the black and the black parts as parts you can walk on, walk through, and every other color is deducted as a solid part in which you can jump on or just not go through. Well, after you get the map up and running, you have this tab to manage your events on the map. An event can be one of three things mainly. It can be an object in the game, static object. You can move, you can interact with if you want to. It can be an enemy or another character in the game, or it can be transparent and make up a bunch of rules for your game, in which case you are better off using the global events, which we'll cover in a bit. So that's basically it for the events for now. We'll get a little more in depth about it and what you can do with events on the map in a bit. But first we'll go through the database, see the various options you can set. So first of all, you have the Hero tab, managing your character's sprite and its size, frames, animation speed, jump height, and the acceleration and deceleration of movement, as well as stats you can change. Everything you might need for a basic game, and for extra stats you can just use for whatever you feel like using. Solidity of the character's sprite means that if it's set to F solid, then you can run the character upside into anything solid, but up to F the player's character's sprite size. In case it is solid, once you reach the top of your head and bump it into anything solid, you'll drop right there. Variables are quite self-explanatory. You can manage your various variables of points, switches, numbers, and strings, text variables, so you can use them later in the commands inside your events in case you need them. You know, like to count stuff, to use as event indexes, switches to make sure some events can only be used at some points and others. Points are mostly used to determine a position on the map in which you want to place a sprite, or use as a calculating point. And texts are parts you can use later for parsing various user inputs, or display them in your text boxes. Next up we have the image and sound tab. pretty similar to the variables tab, but with media types. Once you load your media in here, you can later assign it either here to the map background or to events that call upon them. Visual settings are mostly stuff you can modify your game screen, the size of it, whether it's full screen or not, as well as change the text box settings and the icon. Changing the scale of the screen size, if you change it to scale number 2, all the graphics you load into the project will come off at double the size. Makes it easier to manage if that's the way you want to go. And if you check this checkbox, it makes sure that once your character reaches the edge of the map, it doesn't keep centered on it, but lets it slide into the edge and not show off a black part of the screen. Now lastly, we have this tab for global events and settings, which you can set the genre style you want to use in your game. Phantasya supports 2 styles, the top-down RPG style and the platforming style. Each tells the game engine we use to use different settings and accommodate with the graphics and stuff. If you use the platforming, the game will automatically knows to use gravity and to scroll out the map like it should. And if you use the top-down RPG, also the physics are disabled. This part is more for sprite management. In some animations you might not want to use all the frames you have at hand, the jumping frames and the landing frames. In case you're using the top-down RPG style, this might be the diagonal frame changes. You might want to go with only the vertical and horizontal lines, in which case you can disable these 2 animation sets, and then the game will automatically knows not to use them. Full animation adds the ability to add idle animations and velocity change animations to your sprite sheet. I'll come back to sprite management at another video, but this is a bigger subject than we have covering right now. Lastly, here pretty much you have the control assignments. There are 5 basic actions you can use in the game that come packed along with it, and they are the movement, in case you're going with platforming it's the jump as well, and the interaction button. You can set them to pretty much any button you want, no sweat. You can disable them as well if that's what you want. And the last thing we have are global events, but we'll get to that in another video as well. Lastly, you have the start button. You can take it anywhere on the map and set the hero start position. Once you have everything set in place, you can save the map, push the play button and see what you get. See? We have the velocity changes. You speed up into running and slow down when you stop. We have a little nice animation here that counts the coins you get. See? The map stops when you reach the end. And basically everything you would see in a normal Mario game. Well, that would be enough for this video, and we'll get more in depth into the various aspects of the program in another video. I hope you have a good one. Goodbye.